Greetings, this is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central this evening with another installment of Doc Ock at noon and a little bit after 9. All right. Whoo-wee. I don't know what kind of day you had today, but I had a hard day. So if you notice that I fall asleep during this live stream, that might just happen. Because, man, I was out there in that garden for about 4 hours today, working like a Georgia mule. But I am making progress. I've seen some progress. I got some of my vegetables in, and I did some groundhog abatement. Hopefully that'll keep that groundhog out of my greenery. We shall see. We'll go out there and check on it tomorrow. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do our thing. You know what I need you to do. Give us a like if you're watching on Facebook. Give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. And go ahead and subscribe to the Tubular Black Facts channel. Tubular Black Facts channel. Meanwhile, let's see what we got today for a proverb. Let's see what comes up. All right, here we go. Proverb for today is absence makes the heart, where did it say? Absence makes the heart forget. Absence makes the heart forget. Okay, that's different than the one that we usually think of. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, but absence makes the heart forget. And that is a Kenyan proverb. Proverb from the country of Kenya. So tonight, as promised, we said we were going to go ahead and continue. We started the story of Mary Ellen Pleasant last night, and we're going to continue with her story tonight. Mary Ellen Pleasant, otherwise known, sometimes known as Mammy Pleasant by her detractors. But those of us who love her, we call her Mary Ellen because we're going to give her those P's. That's right. Give her her propers. Well, let's see where we left off at last night. While Mary Ellen worked as a domestic, her husband John Pleasant was a cook on a sea vessel. They may not always have lived together, but for 20 years they worked in unison against the injustices of slavery. Little is known of their daughter, Lizzie. She did come west to California and was married to a Mr. R. Barry Phillips in 1865. Mary Ellen threw them a wonderful celebration, but Lizzie reportedly passed away while she was still in her 20s. Now keep in mind that California was not just a long way away. California was like a whole new world. I mean, the Americas, the 13 colonies, were considered to be the New World or part of the New World. But when the West opened up to the former British colonists and people started leaving Ohio, which had been the West, and heading further west to California and those other states that we think of now, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, etc. That was not only was it a big deal, but it was a massive shift in how people looked and perceived the country and themselves. All the while Mary Ellen Pleasant worked, she never lost sight of her abolitionist leanings and continued to support many fugitive slaves. She even rode into rural areas challenging people who held slaves illegally. She paid to bring black people west and found them lodging and employment when they arrived. Some say that she placed former slaves as servants in wealthy homes to glean investment information. Mary Ellen donated large sums of money to the Convention of Colored Citizens of the State of California. In 1858, she hid the fugitive Xxiii in her home after his controversial trial. She and many black San Franciscans supported his right and the subsequent right of all blacks to live in the state unencumbered by others. In 1859, when she was 45 years old, Mary Ellen went to extreme measures in her passion to fight slavery. She traveled to Boston to learn more of John Brown's proposed slave insurrection. Brown, a militant abolitionist from the East, planned to raid the National Armory and Arsenal at Harper's Ferry, West Virginia. He was to use the stolen guns to organize a rebellion and establish a base in the Blue Ridge Mountains from which to rescue slaves. Mary Ellen Pleasant traveled to Chatham, Canada, where Brown resided, and funded his cause, contributing $30,000. Now, in 1859, $30,000 was an absolute fortune. You could live forever on $30,000 and never have to work. Brown was to postpone the attack until Pleasant could arouse support by riding through the countryside disguised as a jockey, alerting fellow blacks to the insurrection. Brown did not wait. The attack on the federal government failed miserably, and he was executed. An incriminating letter written by M.E. Pleasant was discovered on Brown's person, stating, "The axe is laid at the root of the tree. When the first blow is struck, there will be more money to help." Fortunately, the initials MEP were misread as WEP. Mary waited for things to quiet down and then sailed back to California undetected under an assumed name. Mary Ellen Pleasant fervently fought racial discrimination in San Francisco. In 1863, she was involved in the fight for black people's right to testify in a court of law. Then on September 27, 1866, Mary Ellen was refused a ride on a San Francisco streetcar because of the color of her skin. She and her husband were involved in a 2-year lawsuit against the North Beach and Mission Railroad Company, which resulted in her being awarded $500. In an appeal, however, the Supreme Court reversed this decision, stating that the MBMRR had not instructed the driver to refuse her passage, nor was it done with malicious intent, because no indignity, no oppression, no outraged or wounded feelings, no injured sensibilities appear in the case. Mrs. Pleasant was simply refunded her 5-cent fare. Still, this case thrust her into the public spotlight as a crusader for civil rights. It wasn't until 1893 that an anti-discrimination law was passed. In the late 1860s, when Mary Ellen Pleasant was in her mid-50s, she devised another money-making scheme. She moved to San Francisco's Portsmouth Square and set up a boarding house that catered to the city's elite business and political circles, casting herself in the socially acceptable role of innkeeper. Once again, nobody suspected otherwise. The financial wizards of her day made their way to her upscale establishment at 920 Washington Street, which provided a private arena for its high-class patrons to conduct business. Mary Ellen Pleasant made a point of getting to know anybody worth knowing in town, and soon gained the confidence of such prominent men as David Terry, D.Q. Mills, R.W.C. Ralston, Newton Booth, and Lloyd Tebbis. While she catered to and stroked the egos of investors, politicians, and well-connected businessmen, She took in every bit of inside information. As before, she used the profits she attained in precious metals, mines, stocks, and real estate to finance philanthropic activities and causes. In 1877, Mary Ellen Pleasant built a sprawling 30-room Victorian boarding house that covered 2 city blocks. The lavishly furnished $100,000 mansion on the corner of Octavia and Bush was dubbed the House of Mystery. Rumors as to exactly what went on inside the swank establishment were rampant. Its exclusivity made some raise their eyebrows. The place was often rumored to be a brothel. Indeed, Pleasant was the keeper of many secrets and very well could have provided such a service as a fringe of benefit for her patrons, though there was never any proof of such. Others who wished to discredit Pleasant suggested that she worked voodoo on the men to keep them under her control. The accusations may have stemmed from people's inability to comprehend how a black woman could move so freely within white society. Inside the mansion, on the other hand, Mary Ellen Pleasant was recognized as a shrewd businesswoman. Men were said to seek her out for exchanges of information. Since she knew and safeguarded their secrets, perhaps they in return honored their disguise she found it necessary to wear. One such gentleman, whom Mary Ellen came to know well, was millionaire Thomas Bell, vice president of the Bank of California. He and Pleasant enjoyed a mutual admiration for each other's business acumen. They sought each other out for financial advice, and by the 1870s, they had become business partners, commingling their joint ventures. Bell was known as Pleasant's personal friend and business partner, but when he took up residence in the mansion, the nature of their relationship came under heavy suspicion. The rumors subsided when Thomas Bell married one of Mary Ellen's proteges, Teresa, but the suspicion never went away. Some of the stances Mary Ellen Pleasant took and the causes she supported put her into the state and national limelight and under the scrutinizing eye of a society not always eager to see her succeed. Pleasant financed the legal battle of another protege, Sarah Althea Hill, in a highly publicized divorce from her very wealthy husband, the former U.S. Senator William Sharon from Nevada. The notorious case lasted 4 years, bringing Mary Ellen repeatedly to the witness stand. The defense lawyers and press had a field day trying to destroy her credibility, attacking her reputation, her business relationships, and her finances. They started rumors that Mary Ellen's mother had been a voodoo queen from Louisiana and that Mary Ellen practiced voodoo herself. She survived the negative publicity of Sharon v. Hill, but not totally unscathed. The accusations against her character were damaging, and financial support for Sarah Althea Hill cost her $65,000. Mary Ellen Pleasant sought refuge at her spacious ranch, Beltane in Sonoma, which she purchased in 1891. While it was a great getaway, her troubles continued to follow her. The next year, Thomas Bell died at Pleasant's Victorian Mystery House, and his death was ruled suspicious. Where was I? Bell had fallen over a second-story banister to his death in the middle of the night. Once again, the press tore apart. Mary Ellen Pleasant, now 73 years old. It was rumored that she had pushed him over in an attempt to collect $100,000 from him. No evidence was ever presented, however, and when the will was probated, Pleasant wasn't even mentioned. The case was subsequently dropped, and we'll wrap up there for tonight. Pick up there from there tomorrow. So all in all, it's the story of Mary Ellen Pleasant is one of the most interesting stories I've ever read or even heard of, because of the fact that she was an expert at manipulating people from behind the scenes. And it was that ability to manipulate people that allowed her to make tons and tons of money, cash money, back in the day when San Francisco was but a fledgling little community. Fledgling. Yep. So there's some other people that were out there in the Bay Area at the same time that had some interesting stories as well. But we're just going to we're only focused on the women for right now. We're only focused on the women for right now, and later on, though, we may deal with some of those other people's stories. So for tonight, we're going to conclude, and all I need to say is for all you little children out there to put your little heads on your little pillows, on your little beds, and close those your eyes while you wait for that sun to rise. And when you feel those sunbeams beaming down on your eyes, you know that it's time for you to rise and shine, oh children of mine. So until tomorrow, we will be experiencing a whole new day and come to the conclusion of this first summary of the life of Mary Ellen Pleasant. Of course, we're going to be continuing on with the story of, who's my daytime story now? Queen Nanny. So we're doing Queen Nanny at noon, Mary Ellen Pleasant in the evening. So until then, we will see you later. Get some sleep, good rest, and when we see you tomorrow, we hope that you have had a day that you could call the best, not like the rest. Let me just give a shout out to Connie. How you doing over there, Connie? And we're going to transition to our extra. Got to get to the extra.